Is that?
Research, John Hopkins.
Okay, John Hopkins.
Johnson.
So anyway, if you got any change, y'all want to interrupt me while I'm talking, I'll just drop the money in there. It makes a lot of noise. You know, hard cash makes lots of noise. Soft cash makes a little bit of noise. So, again, a reminder that we have a fellowship meeting coming up on our evening meeting on April the 10th at Spring Creek Barbecue. So, you know, be sure to put that down on your calendars.
Last time I stood up in this group, somebody invited me to make a speech. I got booed. So here I am, not quite a full year later after that event, in an essay contest. Really? Ew. It doesn't have anything to do with ball. It doesn't have anything to do with ball teams, pony leagues, and little kids getting out in uniforms and acting like they're NFL players. It doesn't have anything to do with getting chewed out by the parents on the sidelines. That's mostly what this group does, is referee those kinds of actions. We're about ball playing in this group. How do you get involved in an essay contest in a ball playing group? Bear with me a second, I won't tell you. Subjects choose their artists. Once upon a time, I was a young kid growing up in the Texas Hill Country outside of Austin. Not terribly far out of Austin, but far enough. It was 15 miles to the nearest Optimus Club ball field. Too far to go on a bicycle, and Daddy was an old timer and he wasn't taking me. It was even further than that to get to the city of Austin, and there wasn't much to do out in the Cedar Breaks except read. So lonely boys do read, and then they get an interest in writing, and there you go. Subjects choose their artists. So not too long after that, Tracy Allen let this group know that she needed some help. She had been doing the essay contest for some time before, and I naively thought that this is going to be about learning how to not dangle your participles and how to fix some good writing and make it real and good and true, like Hemingway would say, okay? If you saw that movie about Midnight in Paris, you know what I'm talking about. So, turned out it wasn't that at all. It's about committees and meeting late at night and all that sort of thing and trying to find out who really wants to do the work. And I want to extend a couple of accolades here. I agreed to take over this group and be the liaison with the students and so forth, but I could not have done it without Tracy Allen. And God bless him, at the last minute when we were having low returns, who rides in on a white horse but Darren George? And bringing a whole stack of essays, including a couple of our winners, by the way. So there you have it. And that brings us around to full circle to this day, which is our once in a lifetime for this group to put your ball playing equipment aside for a few minutes and talk about good writing. And it's going to begin with that just gripping, claiming subject of how dreams lead to success. Who again? You know, my buddy Boulos used to be a member of a Toastmasters group. They teach you how to do public speaking, and you talked about things about my best trick and my worst treat, and all that kind of nonsense. Esoteric, general stuff that didn't make any sense. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, how are we going to get kids to write about this stuff? Well, it turns out that there are a few dreamers in life when we found the cream of the crop in this group. You know, it's not all that unusual, but people who are innovators and movers and shakers are also dreamers. You go back a couple, 3 centuries, a name you'll recognize, Ludwig van Beethoven, was known for daydreaming while he walked down the cobblestone streets of Vienna. A line of music would come to him and he would scribble it on his shirt sleeve, get the bars and measures down, because he was thinking and daydreaming the music as he went along. Fast forward about 3 centuries, a name you'll recognize, Paul McCartney. He was in the middle of making a movie in Liverpool, England. You'll remember, some of you oldsters will remember the movie. You youngsters, you winners, you won't remember this at all. It was an awful movie called Help, made in 1965, about the laughter and clowning of the Beatles. Well, in the middle of that, Paul McCartney wakes up in the middle of the night and he is dreaming a song which became the signature song for himself, if not the Beatles. It was called Yesterday. He got up on a rinky-tink piano and had the music recorded before he could forget it. At first he didn't think it was original, but the music came to him in a dream. Last example, then we'll get on to business. Albert Einstein, the special theory of relativity. Now you guys that know your science fiction and you guys that know your astronomy can probably explain that. I can't. I've tried to, and I don't really quite understand it. It's something how time goes slow and light stays the same speed, and it only matters if you're interested in interstellar planetary travel, and sometimes if you're interested in where Venus is. Einstein understood the theory and the concept of that difficult piece of mathematics in a dream. So, dreams do lead to success. And I'm here to tell you, what we have today is 3 students. I'm going to tell you just real briefly a little bit about each of them and more as I introduce them. All of them have dreams, and they incorporated their autobiographical background into what they wrote about. And these 3 essays that they're going to present are about their dreams. We have Biak Ser, who is a native of Burma. I got that right, correct? Okay, she dreams of, I don't know exactly how to characterize it. She wants to change the world. She wants to be a mover. She wants to be a shaker. She wants to be, for God's sake, she wants to be a politician. I can barely say it. I think lawyer might be somewhere in the mix, but she won't quite own up to it yet, okay? And then next we have Pushpa Tiwari, who comes from her native land of Nepal. You guys know Nepal. It's that little bitty country with great big mountains somewhere stacked in between Pakistan on the south side and China on the north side. Have I got that roughly about right? Well, Pushpa has seen times that you and I can only think about and read about. And she wants to do something very commendable. She wants to be a doctor. And I'll tell you more about that in just a moment as well. And then finally, we have Savannah Rogers. She dreams of all things of becoming a chef. And not just any chef. She cooks, according to what I read in the essay, she cooks pretty well right now. She wants to take it to the next level and take it another notch. And I'm so proud of these individuals. They remind me of our people from Trimble Tech over here. We're seeing the cream of the crop today. You know, some of you who know me know that in my law practice, I do a mixed bag of things that have to do with the civil practice of law, but I also defend juvenile appointment. I do it because I like it. And I see, day after day, shattered dreams, broken families, people whose dreams will never be realized because of unfortunate circumstances, and people who have gotten into the rut where they can't do and won't do. It is so refreshing to see these young students, the ones from Trimble Tech and the ones in this essay contest, to say, not only can I dream it, I can do it. So, all right. The day is getting late, the hour is getting long. I want to tell you about our 3rd place recipient, Biak Ser. She's the young lady from Burma. As I interviewed each of these students on the telephone, I had a habit of asking them, what do you want to do? Picture yourself in 10 years. Where do you want to be? And I'm not sure if Biak could really quite see it that far. She told me some things. She'd like to be in school for a while. She'd like to maybe go to graduate school. Poli-sci is what she's interested in. And you guys, ladies, you're going to have to forgive me. I took copious notes and probably forgot them. I'm scatterbrained today. So you're going to have to tell me, what school do you want to go to?
TCU.
Say it again. TCU. There you go. That's a great start. That's a great start. It goes along with this crowd. There's a lot of purple shirts out here, so that's fine. In 10 years, what would Biak like to be doing? Well, this is my take on it. She didn't quite say this, but I think she'd kind of like to be like Che Guevara. I think she'd like to be a revolutionary. She has seen tyranny, she has seen oppression in her little bitty girl growing up years, and she'd like to fix it and change it. And that's what her essay is about. So without further delay, I give you Biak Ser, who is going to read to you from her essay about how dreams lead to success. And by the way, if Paul or somebody can help me, do we need to dim one set of lights? And we're going to follow along, and if we get behind, it's because yours truly can't keep up with them. But we're going to try to give you some, you can be wherever you want to be, Bianca. So you can use the podium if you'd rather be up in front, that's okay too. Let me, before you get started, let me see if I can get you up here. Bianca, I didn't do you any favors. I lost track there, and we didn't have all of the lines follow along, but we thank you very, very much. And I didn't say this earlier. Bianca's essay qualified for a finish at 3rd place in the essay contest, and we'll tell you what that means after we hear the presentations from 2nd place and 1st place. So, okay, go ahead and have a seat. Now, we're going to hear from our 2nd place contestant. I'll tell you a little bit about Pushpa Tirwari. My own provincialism shows through sometimes because I don't like to mispronounce people's names, and I think I misspelled Ms. Tirwari's name when I first wrote to her, and she politely corrected me, and so that's fine. We're there to go. Ms. Tirwari hails from Polytechnic High School as well as Ms. Scher, and they actually knew each other. I believe both of you will graduate this year, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have graduating seniors all the way around. And she wrote to us about some experiences in her background that motivated her to want to become a doctor. And I was pleased to hear from Ms. Tirwari that she's not interested in becoming just any kind of doctor. I thought maybe she would want to be a specialist, because that's the big deal. You know, I've defended many doctors in my practice, and all these guys that wear the stethoscopes on their shoulders like a badge and all that sort of thing, and they want to say they're board certified neurologists or neurosurgeons or what have you. It's an ego trip with them. What does Pushpa want to do? She wants to take care of people. She wants to be a family practitioner. They can be board certified too, by the way, so that's just fine. And she's going to do it, for gosh sakes. Now, some of our people over here on the other side over here may like this. She's going to do it by going to Texas A&M University. Do I have that right? Well, okay, but you know, I don't know what to tell you except for I think that's a good school. I've heard that it is. So, in any event, we're getting behind the time. So, without further delay, I want to give you Pushpa Tirwari to read to us about her dreams of success. And I think I can follow this one along, but no promises. Here we go. Well, we're really trying to crowd a lot into one day, so if it seems like we're rushing, we are, but I've saved the first place winner, and I don't want to say the best because you're all wonderful. But our first place winner is about to present her essay. And just briefly, let me tell you about Savannah Rogers. Think of that guy that we know here in Fort Worth. It's almost a household name. Tim Love. You probably know a little bit about Tim Love. He runs a world-class Texana restaurant out on North Main Street called Lonesome Dove. It's a class place. If you ever ate there, you'll really like it. He takes Texas food and elevates it to gourmet cuisine. You know, he's got 2 or 3 places around town that sell pretty good food, from pretty good hamburgers to pretty good seafood at the Love Shack and Woodshed and so forth and so on. He's a success. He's taken something as common as ordinary garden variety cooking and made a career out of it. But what you might not know about Tim Love is he tried to push the front harder, he pushed the envelope, he went to New York. He opened up there, and he lost his shorts. The New York Times was mean to him. They thought he was some crude Texan that came to New York trying to push off barbecue. He had to close his restaurants. But he came back to Fort Worth, and he did not let his chin down. And he has now become what he really truly deserves to be, a local and a regional success. You can't say the name without recognizing this is a man that did not give up and pushed it forward. And that's very biographical and sort of comparable to young Savannah Rogers. She's going to tell you the story of what she has done in her tender young years in some cooking contests, and how she plans to push it forward. And for gosh sakes, Savannah, I lost my notes, but they're not going to bill your school, I guarantee you, because they're not going to know where it is. I'll tell you, it's in Denver. I believe it's a private school, and you're going to have to tell me the name of it.
Johnson and Wales University.
Johnson and Williams University. Anybody got any problems with Johnson and Williams University? I don't even think they're Aggies or anything. It's okay, you know, all right. Okay, so without any further delay, I want to give you Savannah. I do want to tell you, I asked her where you want to be in 10 years, and it's not very surprising. She wants to open and manage a gourmet style restaurant. I hope she does it in Fort Worth. Give Tim love a run for his money. Savannah, come forward. Give me just a second to get caught up with you. Okay, you've heard 3 essays. They were the 3 best of what we had before us. It was, all in all, a very good field. These kids worked hard. I don't know, some of you may not appreciate this because you play ball too much, but it's hard to write. Because when you write the first time, you're not done. You work, and you get it done again. And, you know, we're going to present some certificates to these young ladies and congratulate them, and part of their presentation is going to be a check. We've come forward with the big dough this year. Tracy tells me that we've bumped it up some from what it used to be. First place wins $300. Second place $200, and third place $100. And I've said this to these youngsters, and I'll say it to this group again, ladies, spend it foolishly, okay? You can't buy anything that is going to contribute meaningfully toward a semester's tuition in a public or private school with this money, but it's enough for you to do something because this group appreciates what you have done, and we wish to honor you. So this is enjoyment money, okay? Now, I am going to ask them to come forward, but I just love having a captive audience. So I want to tell you one last little war story from 47 years ago. Rodney Patterson wrote an essay for the Optimist Club in Austin, Texas. It was 1,000 words long, and it was a history of the United States Navy. Ew. I was honored by the Optimist Club, and I'm glad to see it come full circle. That's all I can tell you. So let me compose myself, and ladies, come forward. Here we go. Oh, we let it right here. Ms. Sarah, since you're in the middle, come to you, and there you are. I'm going to tell you what these awards say. They're all the same, and they pretty much composed with the help of that great author and writer Paul Bulash over there. We plagiarized an award from last year, and it says that the Optimist Club of Fort Worth presents this award in recognition of the accomplishment of youth and developing skills for the use of the written word. In honor of remarkable writing and achievement, the Optimist Club of Fort Worth presents this award to, in the case of Bianca, has her name in bold print, and it's 3rd place. And it is signed by our esteemed president, Paul Bulash, for each one of these young ladies. So without further delay, because the hour is so late, we'll go to Liz Brown for 2nd place. Congratulations. And to Savannah Rogers for 1st place. Each lady gets an award and a check. The check is the important. 47 years from now,